Let's go! SEC Coach of the Year, who is it going to be? Honestly, I have to give it to South Carolina's Shane Beamer.
Sense any give up in the locker room?
Hell no. What kind of questions that, Phil? We're 1-2. We're 1-2. We got a bunch of fighters in that room, and give up. That's not a part of this football program. Get out of here, man.
Bum! I'm looking at you. I know you've already subscribed, and that was Shane Beamer. And Beamer would want you to get us to 1,000 subscribers. That was him being asked after a 1-2 start, did the locker room give up? And that was probably one of the most asinine questions. They played a road game against a healthy Arkansas team, got beat, and they played Georgia. So the question was more silly than, actually something with substance. But, Beamer this year had some really rough outings, right? You had the Florida game, but as we've mentioned plenty of times on this channel, that was on the back end of a back-to-back road game, something that we talked about all the time. So I've got to be quite honest with you. I am blown away with how good Shane Beamer is as a coach. Now, I actually do some radio for the Fan Upstate as a fill-in host. So, I keep up with South Carolina and Clemson a fair amount, if you will. I am just so freaking blown away that Beamer has done what he's done in the past 2 weeks, right? And I do feel he is now my SEC Coach of the Year. Now, I would prefer it go to my coach, Brian Kelly. It is honestly really, 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 really close. The reason why I think Shane Beamer deserves a lot of credit is not only the season adversity, having reporters ask you a silly question like if the team has given up after a 1-2 start, but this is what's crazy. This is the drive on a 3rd and 10 right after the pick six to install the confidence in telling Spencer Rattler to still go out there and rip it. A very dangerous throw cross field. And look at where that ball was put. Unfreaking believable. And, a coach gets wiped out because of it. Man, I can't get over how good Beamer is at installing belief into his players. So now we get to the spicy portion of today's video. Why not Auburn? Okay, forget Coach of the Year. This makes so much sense to me to hire Shane Beamer instead of Hugh Freeze. Now, I know the Lane Kiffin thing didn't work out. Was there really any legs to it? I felt the entire time that Lane Kiffin was going to stay at Ole Miss. I don't think he would view Auburn as such an incredible step up. But the design of this play to get vertical on Clemson, I know Beamer isn't the play caller himself, but to hit this shot right here is such great coaching to get a nice explosive vertical play. And in order to pull off upsets, you've got to hit plays such as this one. Now, I know his heart sank when his player, it gets cut off here, almost fumbled the ball and almost Deshaun Jackson before he crossed the goal line. You'll see it right here. I know the angle's not the best, but this is the goal line. Oh, it was close. But he did get the tutty, and then Beamer obviously consoling him. I mean, showing him love. That's just a sign of a good coach. It's a sign of relatability. It's still nuts, with his dad being at the game. They won this game on special teams in the fourth quarter. So they hit this field goal. I did not think that this would be the last point scored in this back and forth affair, but it was. Then they had the really good punts, obviously, and the fumble recovery on the punt return to actually seal this game. So, if I'm Auburn, am I going to go hire Hugh Freeze, who has a very problematic past and is honestly all over the place? I don't know if that is the right move. I would want a younger, hungry coach who is still looking to prove himself, who is looking for a raise. He's going to get one from South Carolina this offseason. I would like to explore that option if I were an Auburn fan. I understand South Carolina fans won't be happy with me on that, but if I'm Beamer and I say, look, South Carolina, is this the ceiling for this team? I mean, look, Spurrier got this team 3-11 win seasons, but that was, during when Georgia wasn't Georgia. Maybe the Auburn job would be something that Beamer's interested in. And the fact that he has won as many games as an underdog, the fact that he has dealt with in-game adversity, such as a pick six to start the game versus your rival on the road, and over the season adversity, some of the losses that they had, man, I don't know why Auburn doesn't make this guy their next head coach. But I still think it's going to be Hugh Freeze. So let me know what you guys think. I would definitely explore this option because it is pretty blatantly clear after two over-expectation seasons that Beamer should be the guy on the Plains. Now, one final thing I'll mention here. I got to shout out the SEC East, right? So the SEC West is still the better division in my mind, but only LSU was the team that exceeded their expectations this year. And I know they just got throttled by Texas A&M, and I know a lot of you will call me biased LSU fan, but it is true. The LSU Tigers were the only team that far exceeded their expectations in the West. Everybody else was about where you expected them to be or lower. Obviously, Texas A&M and Arkansas feel that way. Alabama feels that way, not going to the playoff with a Heisman Trophy quarterback and Will Anderson. But, the West underperformed. The East is the exact opposite, right? The East exceeded expectations this year, right? Vanderbilt, Tennessee, South Carolina, obviously. And look, who could forget Missouri? Eli Drinkowitz smashed you over on the 5.5. That was my very first video. They get that done. And they would be at 7 wins if they didn't fumble the ball versus Auburn. Boom! Before I get out of here, let me know who your coach of the year is, also in the comment section. But also, let me know if you actually believe Auburn should do this. I don't know. I really don't. Also, Phil, whoever you are, Phil, who asked that question, don't ever come to this channel. You don't ask coaches if your players are giving up after 2 weeks. So shout out to Phil for inspiring South Carolina. It is Power Hour SEC Bomb. And tonight we are doing some gumbo. Let's go.